Alright guys, today we're going to address our water problem situation by building something here to make that threshold from outside to inside way more waterproof, if you will. The plan is to use this pile of wood and some roofing over there and kind of make a little awning up here and kind of revamp the deck area. But first we need to disassemble this thing. It's rickety, kind of falling apart in the unlevel ground and snow. So let's get started. That took a lot longer than expected because the screws just were not coming out. And then we figured out that there were actually two different kinds of screws in there, which is a big no-no. Casey is not happy. And also, Casey decided that we need to have a rule that when you do a project, you just use the same screws on the whole project, which seems like very logical and like, why would you use two different screws? But a lot of times you just have all these different screws and you're just, this thing just got put together really quickly for a bathroom and we just used what we had, and that's why there's different screws in there.
Makes it hard because the screws sink down further over time, so you've got one drill bit and then it's not right, so it spins around in the head and strips it completely, and you can't tell what drill bit you need, so then you strip all the screws and then you have to either saw them off, which is a royal pain, or pry it off like we just did, which is labor intensive, and I'm irritated.
So you can see how the frame is not level right now. That's just because the back part fell off when we were taking all the boards off, but we're going to try to reuse the frame, and it's basically, this is the size that it's going to be. It's just going to be more level and sturdy. So we actually need to take these legs off, and then we've got to do some leveling, so this thing's got to get out of the way. Ma'am, you're in the way. I can't see. Ross. And then we'll just have to use wood to
Drop it.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have to use that much. And then we'll lift that and attach that. Okay, we have put up these two posts, and they're not necessarily perfectly level. We'll get them really level when we start working on the roof. Casey has to do some computer work, so while she is doing that, I'm going to go ahead and put the flooring back on.
obviously that's the platform. It's basically the same one we already had, but we had to redo it because it was kind of janky. And then up here,
we had to take it apart to level it and stuff.
Yeah, and then up there will be the actual awning. These pieces will be cut shorter. And yeah, we'll have like a little porch. You know, eventually, I should explain this. So eventually our plan is to have this long porch here. But the reason we're not doing that now is because I actually think we are going to move the house a little bit, but that could be years down the road. But we don't like the foundation that the house is on because it's just on blocks, which is how the shed company actually, the only really way they'll do it. And so we would like to have just a better foundation eventually, but that's not something we can do now. And I've called around about what you have to do in order to get that done. And it's nothing urgent. It's something that has to be done right now. It's fine right now. It's just for long term. It would be better. And really, it would be impossible to put a new foundation in the same spot, or it would just be a lot more work. So we will move it back. All that to say, we don't want to build that big porch in front because it'll be attached to the ground, and then move the house, you know, in 2 years, a year, whenever that's going to happen. But we absolutely have to have some sort of awning over the door because, you know, water's coming in. So that's our thought process, and that's what's going on. Hopefully we can get that porch put on sooner than many years from now, and we can get the house moved back and all that stuff, but you just never know.
Level. Good job, us. Okay, so we started putting up the awning. We just kind of got our angle of the roof right and cut 2 pieces for that and got everything really square. That was kind of the hardest part. From now on, we are going to just put maybe 3 more rafters up there, and it'll be easy because we already know how long they are and the angles, and then we'll be ready to put the roof up, and that'll be that. I mean, I still got to do this part up here. I got to cut a little notch out for the beams, but yeah, it's already way more sturdy, this thing, and it just feels already more legit. Alright, we have a change of plans. We decided that we wanted a place to hang our hammock chairs. If you have followed us for a long time, you would already know this, but we have these hammock chairs that have hung outside near our stock tank pool, like in our little deck area, and they're one of our favorite things. And we haven't had a place to hang them, and so we thought, well, maybe we could get them to hang on this little awning that we are building. So now it's going to take a little adjusting to do that. Like, we'll keep what we already have, obviously, but now we're going to take some wood that we already had that's a 2x6, like a thicker piece of wood, and we're going to kind of cut it down to fit in the right spot, but like in a way that we can use it to hang a hammock chair, if that makes any sense. So we've got to figure that out now.
Fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be everything is fading to gray. We're gonna
we decided to do for the hammock beams is that they are 2x6s where everything else is just 2x4s because it's just like the tiniest little roof, so we were just using 2x4s. But I basically cut a little notch out of this 2x6 so that it sits and this down on the cross beam like this, and then the 2x4s sit on top of the beam so they're level at the top. And these are going to be reinforced with like bolts and stuff so that we can actually put hammocks in the 2x6. The 2x4s will not be hammock ready, but these will be, and we'll be very happy about it.
I have been instructed that they're hammock ready, but not swing ready necessarily. I got in trouble quite a bit for taking my hammock swinging a little too far on the pergola where we had them hanging outside. I want to say nothing bad ever happened, but I do believe I fell out of a hammock swing once before, so. Tell us, how do you feel about the jigsaw?
I hate the jigsaw. I hate it so much. It gets like the blades get bent all the time, and when it works, I like it just fine, but for the most part, I just hate it so much. Sometimes only the jigsaw will do the job.
Because you tried not using the jigsaw, doing that,
Yeah.
and it took like 6 hours longer.
Yeah, no, you gotta use it sometimes, unfortunately.
This is where we are right now. We added these little tulip things. That'll be so cute. It'll be so cute to have like a little hanging basket or something. I actually was kind of like bleh about this project because it seemed, I don't know, like it just was going to be like a fix. It was a step we were having to do that felt like it just wasn't what we were planning on doing. I want to get stuff done on the inside, but it's going to be cute. Obviously having a big porch all the way across will be even better, but it'll be nice to have this tiny little porch area that we can make cute.
So we have all the beams up, and now we have to cut these 4x4s off at the top. I think we're going to use our Sawzall, and then we're getting very close to putting the roof on top.
Nice! Cutting the roof metal. We're almost done. We're almost done. Look at our pretty basket. Pretty basket.
Well, we had a little roofing snafu. We still have some pieces that we need to put up, but we have leftover pieces from this, so this is only like 5 feet, a little less than 5 feet long, so we have like another piece that we were going to piece together over here, but we figured we could just pick up another roof panel and have them be a solid piece and then use all the extra for the side awning and the back awning. And so we actually were going into town on Wednesday and we're gonna do that. But our van got stuck in the mud again. So we spent a lot of time trying to get that out, couldn't do it. So we ended up taking the smaller car, and we could not fit a roof panel in there. So we had to go back to town the next day and get the van unstuck when it had dried. And we finally have the roof panel. And now that's what we're going to do, is going to put the roof panel up there. We've got to do a couple cuts because it's going to be way too big for that. And then that side needs like a tiny piece over there because we wanted to make sure that we lined the ridges up. So we are so close to being done. So got to get that up there and put some screws, a lot of screws. There's some screws that aren't installed up there. Hoping we can finish all of that today and be done with this project. Of course you did.
Where we are on that front.
There.
Feels so good to have this project complete. It's nice to get a project complete in just a few days. But it's good, we've solved one problem, and now we have a nice place to sit in our hammocks, which is one of our very favorite things to do. And having the flower pots and everything just makes it feel springy and like we live in a real home.
To breaking up, coming under your skin, don't know if we should stop or begin. 'Cause I was there by